Hey, what's up everybody? Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I am really excited today to show you guys my next product review, which is this right here, the Dell XPS 157590. Configuration I have for it is the 9th generation Intel i9 processor, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte solid state drive, the GeForce GTX 1650, and I opted for the 4K OLED display. This is the first time that Dell has put an OLED display in its XPS 15 line of computers. Finally! The display has 100% DCI-P3 color accuracy, so it's really awesome. The blacks really show, the whites show. There's not much gradients. It just blends really well. Really crisp display. But it does have some drawbacks. The very first one that most people will notice is it doesn't have a touchscreen like the previous generation and the LCD IPS version of the 4K screen has. So you don't have that. Another drawback with it is that it doesn't come with Dell Premier Color. It doesn't work with it. There's speculation that Dell's going to be bringing that out in the future, but take that with a grain of salt because Dell hasn't officially confirmed that. But if that happens, it happens, but don't use that as a perk to pick the OLED display. The touchscreen, some people like, some people don't. Personally, if I would have spec'd this out again, I would probably opt for the LCD IPS display. It has 100% Adobe RGB color accuracy, which is still really good because I focus on doing YouTube videos, and most people that have screens will fall under that color gamut. Is that great? Yeah, gamut. And most people would fall under the Adobe RGB when it comes to computers and YouTube videos. So you'll be fine there to do your video editings if that's what you're wanting to do. Plus, it's actually got a higher brightness. It's got 500 nits where the OLED display has 400 nits. So you actually are a little less brighter. The 400 nits is actually what last generation's LCD IPS screen has. So the LCD IPS actually did get a bump in its color brightness. So there's that to look at too. There's also rumors that they're going to be bringing out a touchscreen version of the OLED display, but again, it's not here yet. So if you're wanting to get that, I would hold off on getting it with touchscreen if you want to get the OLED. The i9 processor though is a beast. It's taken every punch that I've thrown at it. The rendering's great. The buffering's awesome. The special effects I do, it just handles everything just really well. Really awesome processing power, really beastly, quick computer, really snappy. Even when you scrub through your footage, 4K, doesn't matter. It does a really awesome job. It does kind of choke a little bit if you have a lot of special effects, but that's to be expected. So you got pre-rendered footage. I've dealt with that before, but I'm able to do more before I have to do that than I did before. So that's really awesome. The graphics card, the GTX 1650, is a boost from the previous version. Supposedly it's got about 20% performance boost, 20 to 23, somewhere on there. I tested it with a lot of gaming stuff. I play Final Fantasy 14, which is an older game. I can play on Ultra, which I think this graphics card can handle mid-range games fine. You can probably boost them all Ultra. StarCraft 2, Final Fantasy 14, etc. Run really well. Next gen games, the newer content that's coming out, Borderlands 3 that just recently came out, it probably would have to run at more of mid-range settings to get a better frame rate, maybe even low, depending on its requirements. I don't think it would be able to handle that, so this is definitely not for gamers if that's what you're aiming for. It's definitely been catered more for video. And talking about gaming, VR, it can run on it. I did do the HTC Vive. However, it's not necessarily playable. Just because it runs, it doesn't really work well. The HDMI port on this is not connected to the GeForce. It's connected to the Intel card. At least everything I've done, I couldn't get the switch. It always detected it as a secondary display Intel. And like I said, I did this with the HTC Vive, and it's just not playable. It works, but it's got the what they call ghosting. Also, battery life. The OLED screen, that's another reason why I kind of opted for it. Obviously I wanted the color. I also wanted to try to get some more performance with the i9 processor, but there's not really much difference between the two. When I used the previous generation of the Dell XPS 15, I get similar battery life now, if you want to get more battery life out of it, I would probably opt for the i7. It also will probably run cooler. That's one thing that's the downside to the i9. It does run hot. So if you have it on your lap for a while, it can be uncomfortable. Some people can handle it, some people not, but some people might take that heat as a little too much. The heat sinks on here are better than before, but it still gets hot and it will definitely throttle. It will throttle even more so than on battery life than it would on when it's plugged in. If you guys want me to, I can do benchmarks and other stress tests on this to give you guys those kind of tests. I tend to shy away from those because that doesn't really give me an indicator how good a computer is. Just because a device might bench high on performance doesn't mean the applications I use will work well with it. I've had situations where a computer has these awesome specs, the benchmarks are great, I get the computer and bam, my software just doesn't work. Something about the computer just is sluggish. No matter what I optimize it for, there's something about it that doesn't work well. And that happens because everyone manufactures machines differently. With that said, would I get this again? Yes, I would spec it probably with the LCD IPS display. Probably would keep everything else in my case because I do a lot of special effects. It really works good for video editing. Gaming is more mid-range. You can do 4K video and 1080p video really easily. You can scrub it and everything, no problem, especially if it's plugged in. Overall, I'm really impressed and excited about it. Anyways, hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. If you didn't like it, go ahead and hit dislike, but leave me a comment down below why, so I can do better for you, because I'm here for you guys. I want to give you guys my most honest opinion on reviews. I want to give the best I can with tutorials and edits. That's what I want to do. I love teaching and helping people, and that's why I'm here. And I'm also helping myself by doing this too, which I'll share that story in another video. That's a surprise for another one. I got my close friends know about it, but it's going to be really awesome for all of you guys. Anyways, don't forget that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell to be notified of future videos. And I'll see you next time. Aaron out. My chair is falling apart, yo. The NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650. This should not be so hard, people. Now, I don't want to tell you guys about it.